Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with the most Terran player out there. In the blue, it's Micro Jackson, ByuN. Up against his eternal nemesis. Once again, the player ranked #1 in the world by Dark. The final boss. It's Dark. A best-of-3 TVZ between two of the most entertaining players in the world. I don't know how many times we've seen them face off, but the answer is hopefully not enough. Just like the number of likes and subscribes. And Jimmy? Yes, I know. 1,300 likes on this video, on this cast, on this series. And I'll cast another one. Approximately, very approximately 300 videos ago, I said, what if we did a dumb gimmick where we said 1,000 likes and then upped it by one every video for engagement purposes? Well, the last 300 or so videos, including me just ignoring the Reaper, killing the occasional Zergling, have been some of the most successful, if not the most successful, since I started on YouTube, especially really focusing on it over 5 years ago. And technically up to 10, if you really want to go back that far. So thank you for making my days a little bit better, and I hope to make yours just a little bit better as well. With ByuN versus Dark, which has made up... These two players have made up a not insignificant percentage of those 300 videos. In fact, Dark may very well claim about a third of them at least, but I digress. And the Reaper gets in from the back, and we're on Crimson Court, which I expect Dark to come up with some creative strategies, deciding to take the rich Vespene base at the front. Now, did he do it out of his own initiative, or because the Reaper was already blocking out the only other option for a third? You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. The Reaper ripped down. Fine. As the Zerglings are able to catch it before it jumps right back up. Hellions on the way across. ByuN has 3 CC with Banshee behind. And he saw this base, right? Yeah, he did. The Hellions, are they gonna run by? There's no queen there. 4 Zerglings. Gonna get the wraparound. On the other side, a couple Zerglings will kill an SCV and be driven out by the other Hellions. Roasted. On the way out. So, flirting with the idea of economic damage on both sides, but not really finding anything, at least not yet. Stim on the way. ByuN, never one to shy away from Marines. In fact, essentially... Well, occasionally he'll try mech, but it looks suspiciously like mass Marines, even when he has Cyclones. Because somehow, ByuN just finds the unit composition that he can stutter step and micro back individual units to a ridiculous and almost game-breaking amount. And then keep doing that until he drives himself, sometimes into a brick wall. But that's why every Terran player wants to be him. Whereas, at the end of the day, more realistically, every Terran player should be more like Cure. The People's Terran. He faked Cloak on the Banshee by getting Interference Matrix. One of the oldest tricks in the oldest books, faking that Tech Lab option. But will it make a big difference to what Dark's doing? Brenda, just, you know what? Who cares? Just ignore the Hellions. We have enough energy. All right, you brought the Red Bulls, right, Susan? What do you mean we're not sponsored by them anymore? Not since the accident. What? Oh, sorry. Well, the fake Banshee. Now, the Banshee with or without Cloak, you're still going to want the lair. In fact, I don't think Dark really respected it. That lair is not particularly early. Did he actually get Burrow, or was that a misclick? Oh, no. Oh. Well, we've all been here. I think he misclicked Burrow when he meant to build a lair. Now, I'm not exactly sure what hotkeys he has it on, but that has happened a not insignificant amount of times to myself before, and I'll do whatever I can to draw any parallels with Dark. So, not that surprised. Oh, and in case we didn't relive that moment enough, this is the Queen strongly, politely, yet firmly driving the Banshees away. And now you see the Banshees turn around there. I'm glad we could get that instant replay. Thank you, Jimmy. Back at home, Marines building up. Dark is at 67 drones. Does he have a bandling nest? Yes, but the lair just now finishing. A tank push on the low ground. A single queen, but the transfuse comes through. I think it's becoming apparent now that those Banshees do not have cloak. As Dark can see, well, the Banshees themselves. Infestation pit on the way already. So Dark is wasting no time. He's using that rich Vespine geyser in order to springboard his gas production. Since he's not... Is that a dropper lord? Is this a German taxi build? I mean, I guess you could just use it for banelings as well. Dropper lord's got about a 10% speed buff in the previous patch a few weeks ago, which didn't have nearly... Oh my god, those Banshees. Strong gust of wind. Don't fly into those branches. I don't think it matters either way. What if you could, though? Alright, that would make it fair. What if you ran into air blockers and took damage? Alright, what we really need in this game is realism. Well, Overlord taken down. Baneling speed not quite done yet, but 1-1 is only just now finishing as well. So ByuN, not gonna risk it. Hive tech on the way at 7 minutes here, which is obscenely quick. Even considering the relatively little aggression on either side. A Dropper Lord on the way. Loaded up with some Zerglings. Now ByuN's got his own Dropper Lords and they heal as well. Finding the fact that Dark mined out this mineral wall. Oh. They'll expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. Down goes the Marine. But, not unexpected. The rest of the Marines drop out and just kind of deal with the expansion to the south. Which, you know, seems like a bit of a given. Now, Burrow for Realsy is on the way. Hive is about to complete... I have to... Like, Ultras. It has to be Ultras, right? This early on, really capitalizing on the lack of tech out of the Terran. And ByuN is a player who... occasionally will just refuse to build Ghosts and Liberators, despite the scenario. If he can't micro Marines, Marauders, and Medevacs, he might as well not even bother. But so far, Adrenal Glands, Ultralisk Cavern on the way. The Zergling drop. He dropped Zerglings and then burrowed them. Which, you know, some undercover operatives, if you would. Gives him a little bit more vision, and he's got a Nidus on the way, so that's kind of a next-level play out of Dark. The Dropper Lord itself somehow survives, and this is actually keeping a surprising amount of ByuN's Marines back. The Double Drop's still flying around back here. He's patrolling it, I think, to make sure it doesn't get picked off easily. He has a little bit more time to react. Occasionally, well, in this case... Yeah, I'm not actually sure what the patrol is for, besides keeping Dark honest. The Banshee's coming in, but get off! Fly! And the Queen, feeling a little full of herself. We'll work her way out, but needs to go back. And, yeah, the Medevacs tried to come in, but the Queens are waiting. Both sides. Units in position to deal with the drops. ByuN just slaps down not 1, not 2, but 3 additional command centers. And the buildup begins, as this is one of the hardest maps, if not the hardest map we've seen in a long time. And we've seen a lot of maps that have tough choke points and difficult lanes of attack. But I think Crimson Court, with its not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 12 sets of rocks on each side, 24 sets of rocks. Dustin Browder. Would be so proud. Parasitic Bomb plus a couple Queens means that all 16 Marines are absolutely dead and scattered across the field. Dark will slowly but surely continue his archaeological discoveries with the Zerglings here. Has taken down 4 out of 12 rocks on this side. From what I understand, we're going to be nerfing it to, I believe, 2 sets of rocks aside. I believe that was the intent. So that way there's still the wall off, but it isn't like expend all the ammunition that we pretend to have in the barracks level of wall off here. Because it does seem... Fun fact, the original version had like, it was either 6 or 8 sets of rocks. Just in, at some point, like, why even bother? Just make it a wall. Technically you could get through it, but it's just a bit offensive. Well, the Nidus, the Ghosts are out, as both sides have worked their way through. Banelings are ready to go, but go where is the question? Not this way, as this is walled off. He can kill his own turret. Dark's like, are you kidding me, bro? Are you serious right now? There's a planetary. ByuN has just turtled everything up. He's got 5 command centers on the way. Dark has definitely commented in the past, and to any of our Korean speakers out there, would be very happy to know the exact comments, but he's taken a critical stance of some of the maps before, especially in matches against ByuN, who they have a tendency to trash talk one another on a regular basis. And I get the feeling that right now ByuN is, well, Dark is not a huge fan of the situation the game has been kind of dragged into, as not too many Zergs are major advocates for sitting there playing no rush 12 minutes and then running into multiple planetaries, mass siege tanks with dozens of ghosts. And, well, there's no liberators yet. I lied, there are 2 liberators. 7 dropper lords on the way, as Dark is going to try whatever he can. Here come some of the Vipers. Banelings rolling in. Once the tank will get it, but might lose a Viper for it. Banelings just gunned down. Find some of the SCVs at least, though. I'm not sure how important those are at this stage. He plummets to 72. He has 8 orbital commands, so he can drop enough mules to power most third world economies. And also the Terrans. Operation Overlord has begun, as he will drop in behind the tank. The turret trying its best. High-sec auto-tracking just started, though, and I don't think that would have made the difference. The gate is opened up. The Ultra is a bit too thick for it. The Ghosts line up the shots and knock out the Overlords. The Orbitals are lifted, but the Planetary will back things up, and a wall of supply depots will hold the line as well. And, well, Dark, he's got money in the bank. He's lost 100 Zerglings, which seems low, but we haven't had too much to start here. 29 more drones on the way? What? Dark is going to... some of the ghosts will be stuck on the low ground. Dark is at 106 drones. Banelings. Not actually particularly effective against ghosts. It takes 6 to 7 Banelings to kill the ghosts individually, as they are not light units, nor are they heavy. Alright, they're just right. 5 infestors on the way. Dark has far too many drones right now, though I guess he wants to mine out essentially this half of the map, and then if he can get any of the other side, which would probably be this northern base up here. We will see. He is mining now that kind of center line base that ByuN is clearly not interested in letting him have for free. Spire on the way. Greater Spire is already done. The Zerglings streaming throughout. How many Zerglings on the field? 91. And if you include the Banelings, well into triple digits. Building armor now done. ByuN has 9 orbital commands, 3 planetaries. He's building 3 more. We're going to be at about 15 command centers in 15 minutes. So, Fusion Core is on the way, which is almost certainly for advanced ballistics, but we can dream that Gumio is inspired. No. Not quite yet. Vikings, get over here! But there's actually remarkably little anti-air, so eventually the Queens take out 1. Thor's on the way, but ByuN has turtled up. Dark has money in the bank. He actually got supply block there, amusingly, but oh my god. The cinematic defense. This is effectively a campaign mission at this point. They both have a ridiculous amount of money, but you have to look at the gas as well. Somehow Dark's army only costs 2,000 gas. I guess he has 1 Ultra, 5 Infestors, 2 Vipers, and 15 Banes. He's just got 100 drones and 106 Zerg Banes. So he's got an army he could throw away 2 or 3 times and still rebuild. The question is, can he do anything with it? Like, he's gonna kill a siege tank, gonna get some Marines. Those ghosts were cloaked before they got out of the medevac. Which that means they were cloaked before they went in. They can't cloak while they're in the medevac. Maybe next patch. Dark has so much creep here. But ByuN is pushing it back. The sensor towers cover the entirety of the map. There's nowhere Dark can go that the sensor towers will not cover. On his side of things, to be clear. Spine crawlers are coming up. As Dark, he's at 5 digits. He's got 10,000 minerals. And here, okay. Okay, we don't go. Not yet. Soon, though. Dark has to do something. 4 scans at a time. How many orbitals? 10! 10! Double-digit orbitals. Advanced ballistics begins. Susses out the changelings. Nuclear missile on the way. True late-game upgrades now. Thor Hellbat. And a ghost or 2 in the mix. ByuN always good about having ghosts with each army, as opposed to concentrating them all in the same spot. Oh my god. He yanks the ghost into the spines to be impaled to death. Never meet your heroes. More factories on the way as ByuN goes into a mech army composition. Almost a Brood War-esque late game where you just shift completely out of the weak, malleable flesh of Bio into the strong mech of Hellbats, Thors, well, and Ghosts. But Ghosts are, you know, the best of both worlds. The Liberators, Ghosts in the back line, overlapping Venn diagrams of freedom, covering absolutely everything. Nuclear launch detected. Caduceus reactor on the way. Dark will back off here. The Ghost's not even cloaked. Queen's assassinated. May lose a couple spines here. Tactical nuke lands. Few drones down. And Banelings versus Thors. Queen's holding the line. So Dark has to decide. Does he have Neural Parasite? No? Oh, he's... Okay, it's almost done. Okay. Yes? The best counter to Thors is Thors. Especially in this scenario, but they're the Brood Lords. Brood Lords on the way. Really the only reliable long-range damage, and reliable is pushing it a bit. But 10 orbitals, 5. We're looking at almost 20 command centers here for ByuN. He still has 79 SCVs, which I think we're going to see that number drop down one way or another soon. That many orbitals means he can scan twice at all times. It takes about 5 orbitals to always have a scan ready. Essentially, the energy comes up by the time the first scan's running out. Obviously, mules are still going to factor in, as they've both built up just ridiculous banks here. But again, it comes down to the gas a lot more than the minerals at the end of the day. Where are the infestors? He picks up the Thors. And if he's diligent about scanning, it's very unlikely. There's infestors hiding somewhere. There are 8 infestors on the field, which... Has he lost some? He's only lost 1. I guess that he hasn't built too many during it. A scan spots all of it. That doesn't necessarily mean he can stop it, though. As Thors are a pretty good counter to Liberators here. Yeah, this is actually really awkward, as he can keep borrowing the Thor. Borrowing is maybe a strong... At some point, yeah, just kill it. Sorry, Tommy. Oh, ByuN, because your units will not turn traitor. Even if they become redcoats, your units will not attack them unless given direct orders. But in this case, ByuN does issue those orders and make sure that his Thor can't kill his own Liberator there. So Dark is looking for an opportunity. This map is just absolutely locked down right now. The Ghosts. Lining up more shots, sniping out the Queens across the board. But the Brood Lords are revealed, and they're on the other side of the map here. Are there any Corruptors? No, there are 0 Corruptors, which is a bit low. He has to use spore crawlers for anti-air, which is not ideal. 15, 16 corruptors on the way now for Dark. 3 more barracks for Ghosts. Wait, does he really need 3 more wrecks? He's going up to a dozen barracks. That seems gratuitous. Somehow 20 command centers is perfectly fine, though. Flyer attacks 3-3. ByuN, the only thing he's missing are those ship weapons upgrades now. Otherwise, +3 across the board. He's only got +1 ship weapons. Brood Lords just obliterating Ghosts. How much now we have to ask how much is left. This is actually a remarkably, it's not bloodless, but neither side has really had a major engagement. It's been beating around the edges of things, but we haven't seen that decisive fight that has kind of tilted the battle one way or another. ByuN is trying to take the center base. I guess Dark was kind of mining from those half-and-half bases here. But ByuN is making strong efforts. How much gas is left? About half. 1,200 something out of the 2,250. There's still more than half in these gas geysers. Dark has only lost 4,200 gas this whole game. He's got 6K in the bank. 7 more broods. Nuclear launch detected. Another one onto this base. There are 16 ghosts, 7 liberators on the field. The nuke is landing. That's a lot of larvae. ByuN is slowly but surely chewing up more of the map. And it's gonna force the issue as he has similar bank to Dark here. And clearly the more cost-effective unit composition, but there are 25 Brood Lords on the field. Feudalism is still going strong as the Queens, the Brood Lords, the Overlords, all here. Well, the Overlords actually are. That was just trying to make every Lord reference I possibly could. But just chewing through the orbitals, not even lifting before the Brood Lords rain down. A Nidus underneath as well. Another Nidus worm detected. I'm not sure where that one went. Or if it's relevant. But ByuN is trying to set up their Infestors underneath. Infestor Brood Lord is back. And with that little bit of extra range with the last patch, maybe can zone out more of this. And ByuN, well, he's decided on a kind of a half-and-half base trade here. The EMP does land. Fungal zones out. There aren't that many ghosts, but the cloak! Oh no, he's looking the other way. But there are so many Brood Lords, and with the cloak, he's using a lot of the energy of the ghosts. Is there an answer to the broods, though? Dark is just driving up the center. ByuN's working towards the heart of the swarm. Right now, Dark is tearing him up. The Ghost Academy dies. The Queen's Brenda, no! Why did we stay in the Nidus? How many times? We're going straight into a base, well, not really straight into a base trade, but the base trade at geriatric speeds here with some of the slowest units in the game, but also the most powerful. There's still 18 Brood Lords out there. ByuN he's building mass starport. And unlike ByuN, Dark can't easily rebuild his tech out on the map. How many ghosts are there? There's 17 ghosts. They're just not in the main, clearly. The Queens are. Dark is slowly but surely losing all his tech. He's building Ultras to replace it. The Spires, the Ultraless Cavern, the Hive itself. The main base. There's not much anti-air left here. Only 4 Corruptors in total. The Ghosts are coming back. The tech is about to go down. And without the tech tree, you can't grow any sort of comeback. Scans across the board. Down to 9 orbitals is ByuN, and several of them are flying. The final Spires. The Spires go down. And Dark has 11K, 6K in the bank. But how can he spend it? He's building more and more Ultras here, but he actually doesn't have any larvae. Huh. Well, he's base trading a Terran at near glacial speeds here. The Infestors underneath. The scan. Does he see them? Oh, now's the time. The Fungals! He's splitting against the EMPs. He needs to get those ghosts, but the EMPs landed. There's not... there's still a lot of energy. And there's really not that much anti-air here. There's only one corruptor left. And the liberators are just doing the damage. The main base is slowly being chewed up here. Dark still has so much money. He's rebuilding Ultralisk. He's got a Spire on the way. But the Vikings show up and the Broodlord count is plummeting precipitously here. ByuN has rebuilt the entirety of his production over to the west side of the map. He's just essentially migrated his entire main base. It appears taking several seasons to actually kill the main has left Dark in an incredibly vulnerable position and an awkward spot where he may end up just tapping out of the game with 9,000 minerals in the bank. Which, is it likely he's gonna come back from that? No. Is it one of the most painful positions I've ever seen to tap out with 9,000 minerals and 5,000 gas? Yes. Well, you know how many Bronze Leaguers you could afford for that many minerals and gas? That's more than like a dozen of them mine the entire season. And that's what Dark left in the bank at the end of the game. What a disaster piece. Dark gonna have to go back to the spawning pool on that one. I mean, fighting the army heads up is nearly impossible. The Mass Ghost, Liberator Thor in the choke points. A base trade was not a bad call, but neither necessarily was it the ideal one either. Is there a good call? I don't know. To be honest, that map, I believe, is at least a 2 out of 3 win rate for Terran at the moment. But... well, I think it's higher than that, but I'm trying to be conservative here, as it is a tough pick. It's a bit of a tough map pool for the Zergs. Of course, everything's tough now that Cyril is no longer here to weight everything towards him, but... Game 2. Host Youth. Like both these players and most of my viewers. In fact, Dark with a youth of his own. At this point. That's what we are now. Grabbing the mixed base here. Half and half, gold and blue minerals. Only 6 patches in total. Reaper coming across. ByuN not doing anything. He's essentially sticking to his guns. In every literal sense of the word. It's going to be a cookie cutter build here, despite the kind of intricacies of the map. And by that I mean just essentially a free second base. Gets in. It is also one of the shortest rush distances, if not the shortest, of the entire map pool. Fun fact. Not for the drones. Dark skipped Zerglings is why the Reaper is being more annoying than usual. He didn't bother with any Zerglings, but... oh! Dark throws it out there. Dark, as the Queen was killing the Reaper, gives him the XD, or the Korean equivalent, and ByuN crying face into... you feeling lucky, punk? Well, or something along those lines. And we're gonna go back and forth writing some manifestos. It feels so good to kill that Reaper, though. Especially when you know they were sweating so hard trying to get those drones. Like, throw the grenade perfectly. If I can body block the drone from getting the spore crawler, then maybe I can just kill it outright. Because I get a unit that can jump up cliffs and heal while they get bullied. But the Reaper getting the revenge there feels good. Alright, that's a Zerg. Alright, it's okay. I'm 1/3 Terran. Some of my best friends are Terran. Alright, it's alright. What are you doing? Just taking the gold? You greedy bastard? You think you can get away with this? Just take a gold? Dark is like, you know me. I'm not saying I'm a gold digger, but there's a lot of gold minerals on this map, and I'm going to mine them. I see yours are free as well. Roaches already on the way. In fact, Dark is at 49 drones. Before, well, did ByuN do 3, 2, 1, 1? Ah, 3 CC, 3 Rex, into medevac Marines. So, this is going to stack up oddly. I think it depends on how quickly ByuN realizes. Well, one roach comes across. On how quickly ByuN realizes this is just mass roach here. As if you just have unupgraded Marines, even with stim, that is potentially a recipe for disaster. Dark is fighting it straight up. He just stims. This is an odd fight. The Marines will win. But if you can keep the Marine count down with this sort of economy as Dark, that's best case scenario. So he's got 61 drones, and he has that gold base on the way. Lair's about to complete, guaranteed roach speed after that. 1-1. Coming up for ByuN. The most standard cookie cutter mass Marine tank. Like, this is a template build out of ByuN right here. Take this one home. All right. Put it in as a down payment for your mortgage. Like, this is a build that we've seen through the ages. $15, 16 roaches on the way. The double drop boosts in. Roach Ward is actually somewhat vulnerable here, which would be a pretty devastating scenario if he actually loses it. Well, that's far from ideal. He does leave the Marines behind. No roach speed. And a few drones gonna go down to the kind of outlier Hellions. Oh my god. Is that an infestation? Did he? What? He morphed a drone into an infestation pit? What are you doing? Why not? What are you gonna do? Cancel it? It's an infestation pit in a battling nest. So I guess he's kind of committed to it. Sure. Well, Dark just has a bunch of roaches. They're not gonna have speed. In fact, Dark has exactly 0 upgrades of any kind right now. He is about to finish 1-1 at least. Working his way through into the watchtower. He just... I mean, when life gives you lemons, you take those lemons back. You build an infestation pit. All right. Not gonna happen. Hive is on the way, so Dark has managed to get that early tech out either way. The Marines in the medevac, just sharking around. So Dark will have... So he's successfully masking, in my opinion. Just a big, old-fashioned roach time. A massive roach smash. But instead, with that casual infestation pit and the baneling nest, he's going to have hive done. He's going to have baneling and zergling speed. He's going to be supply blocked, which is not a positive, by the way, but Vipers are definitely an option. And I think a likelihood as soon as those overlords finish, or he loses enough roaches. And that could catch ByuN off guard, as that is a remarkably quick hive. There's the Vipers. Remarkably quick hive timing, especially considering everything. So ByuN working his way out onto the field. Dark is doing what he can to slow this down. Corrosive Miles knock out the leading tank. Now Watchtower ByuN like, oh, thank you for opening this up for me. And the rush distance on this map, neighbors across the street with siege tanks and roaches having it out. Ultralisk Cavern on the way. Tanks sieging. Gotta be careful not to run into his own corrosive biles. Vipers are gathering energy somewhere now. Banelings are closing in, getting dangerously close and cutting up a lot of the units. Ooh, actually leans into a corrosive bile. Dark still maxed out. ByuN is incrementing out the tanks. Wants to maintain a position on the field, but I think he's underestimating Dark's economy right now. Does that scan catch any Vipers? Where are the Vipers? The Vipers are the most important units in the game right now. But only one player knows about them. Dark is doing a great job of keeping the tank count down. One decisive fight. He's about to finish +2 Carapace. ByuN is about to finish +2 weapons and armor himself. But there are the Vipers. We see the shadow over to the left side. He realizes it's a terrible scenario. Blinding Cloud on the back line and Parasitic Bomb onto the Medivacs. The tanks are negated. The Banelings will roll through. And the Ravagers are crushing through in turn. Sprays out the corrosive bile, actually takes out the tank. The Medivacs will pick up. ByuN is routed off the field. ByuN has space to work with, or Dark has space to work with, and he will indeed find success. A crushing victory after a difficult defeat in the previous match. But Dark showing when he has space to work with what he can put together. ByuN with an incredibly predictable build. It's very strong. Just the huge economy, Marine tank medevac. But ByuN, he had to adapt. The hand he was dealt. You know, I'll give him... I don't think he put the Roach Warren on the edge because he was convinced that ByuN would drop there and potentially kill it, and then he could do like a huge mind game. But I wouldn't put it past him either. It's one of those roll with the punches and then break his wrist and kick him in creative places. So ByuN's like, did you just get a hive immediately? Was that a real infestation pit you built? Dark, who saves their drone from Hellions by morphing it into an infestation pit? I don't think I've ever... It's a small thing. Well, it's like a medium size, the infestation pit. But in the scheme of how weird it is, it's a relatively small thing. But it is certainly a unique one. Because such an odd scenario. And then it turns into the game plan. The spontaneous infestation pit into Hive Tech victory. And now ByuN. 2 Raxus. Well, ByuN's gotten Reapers nerfed twice in StarCraft 2 history. There's always room and time for a third. Though this time it is only 2 Rex, which usually means Reapers, like 3 to 5 Reapers. And then, what do you think? It's Marine. We'll see how far he goes with it. But, yeah, Dark... I don't know. Crimson Court is, I just wonder how these maps... I don't know exactly the veto process or, like, the pick ban process. There's a lot of tough maps, for Zerg in the new map pool. And, like, Dynasty, for example, with the gold minerals that essentially you can't take unless you're willing to do an all-in. Oh, no. You got a drone. Well, that's certainly not an ideal start. But there are so many of those new creative maps that you can't really veto them all, realistic. Oh, there was a drone down there. Trying to take a third. Not anymore. I'm an extractor now. Respect me. Factory on the way. Another. Oh my god. And the grenade. I'm also an extractor. It's the new craze. Well, he's gonna try to take the third, but a Zergling got in the way. Oh, come on. Oh, no. He got the Reaper, at least. And just takes the other third. Annoying. And successfully delayed a lot of the economy here. Just now is Dark building another round of drones. He had to build so many Zerglings. Kind of artificially limited his own economy there. Building a Roach Warren, more extractors. It looks like Darkster's gonna do a big Roach Warren. And this is the side of the map. ByuN is on the side of the map where his add-ons are exposed to Ravagers, Corrosive Bow. The Zerglings catch and kill another Reaper. Great catch there. And that stim pack, well, is not going to be denied, I think, at this rate. By the time Roaches and/or Ravagers could come across the map. There very likely could be a Banshee, and stim will likely be done. But those two gases, the two up to 3, that Dark build indicates he does not... This is not like a macro timing. He wants to get some damage done. Ideally, win the game. He saw the factory, and if ByuN was going straight to Marines and Medevacs, if he was skipping this Banshee phase, like he's been known to do in the past, this could be a devastating timing. But that one Banshee, and then very likely more when he sees any of this, and the fact he has cloak. Well, it's gonna make it a lot harder. Dark is 35 workers behind this. 35 drones against 38 SCVs. Stim, still about 15 seconds out. The Marines on the outside, but the Banshee. He's gonna target Stim. Well, the Banshee gets one of the Ravagers. Not like this. Just gets 2. Already justified itself. Coming across the map. He knows there's more than that. Banshee's looking around. The Ravagers and Lings are going to come in again. Stim. Dig complete. Banshee heads across. Is cloaked. Dark is forced to spend some of his drones on spores. Just to make sure that Banshee doesn't ransack his entire mineral line. But this is not ideal. 5 Ravagers on the way. A second Banshee about to complete at the natural. Dark is breaking through. ByuN is building a wall of barracks to stop the Zerglings from getting around. A full surround, or near full surround on the bunker. But the SCV's here. I think he just knocks it out in 1. But there's no more units left. The Zerglings are coming through. There's still a lot of Marines here. He stims again. He's just gunning down the Zerglings. Corrosive Bile's into the mix. But at the end of the day, there's just not enough Ravagers. ByuN finds the victory. Dark runs into the wall of Marines. The Banshee's the choice. He tries to game it, but this time around, he just kind of ends. After a tough match on Crimson Court, and a solid one on Post-Youth. Dark tries the all-in and comes up remarkably short. ByuN holds the line this time around, but I'm sure we'll hear about it the next time. I hope this made your day a little bit better. Thank you for approximately 300 videos or so since we started really putting some extra effort in. By the way, the like and subscribe bit to break the 4th wall like Dark never could. The like and subscribe bit kind of coincides with me putting an extra effort in casting, not just like on stream, but also specifically for YouTube. You might have noticed the physical quality of the videos because I can focus all the not insignificant processing power on 1440p and all that. So putting extra effort into that. So thank you for making it pay off. Thank you for watching. I hope I made your day a little bit better. If you got the means and motivation, be awesome to check out Patreon or YouTube membership, but liking and subscribing, as we mentioned, is free. And the second channel, Winter Gaming TV, for streams and all that. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Good luck, have fun. Thank you for watching. Stay chill.